everybody, it's Teresa with 3sticksin.com. I'm back with project number 2 on my 5 pallet 3 project 1 day challenge. So I had all these pallets and soon I'm gonna have great stuff. To catch up, I just finished the compost bin, and now what I'm gonna make is a side table for this little couch here that I'm sitting on. And you guys won't believe how easy this is, right? Okay, so this is the main piece that I'm gonna work with. So all I did from my pallet is, this is that center beam. So I cut off the sides and then I cut in the middle of the center beam to just kind of make a little rectangle. And I didn't measure anything. This is all completely arbitrary based on how the pallets looked, what looked like a good size for the space. It's just completely guesswork. So I'm left with this middle plank piece, and this is going to be the top of my little coffee table. Now I'm just trying to use the scraps as much as I can, but if you're just worried on this one project and you don't have a limit of 5 pallets, then you could fill these gaps in to make a solid surface, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's patio furniture. So with this main piece, then you're going to need, there's 8 more pieces. Okay, so 2 pieces will have to be the width, and I just cut these to this size. Like I said, I didn't measure anything. I just lined it all up and then cut it with my skill saw. So you'll need 2 pieces, and these were planks that I just pried off of the pallet. And then you'll need 2 more. And I've got these here that will be the other, let's see, I can't remember what I just said. Anyway, to the length, to the width. And just make sure that when you cut them, you leave room for the other cross piece. Okay, that might not make any sense verbally, but you'll see what I mean when I get to putting the pieces together. Okay, so then the other 4 pieces that you need are just 4 in the exact same size to be your legs. These used to be the side pieces from these pallets, and now they'll be my legs. With all of your pieces cut, the first step to assembling this is just like we did for the compost bin. You're going to reinforce these. We don't want a wobbly tabletop. So drill your pilot holes and then a screw. So I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to start by building the exterior box to kind of support this. So I'll take my 2 length pieces here, and same thing, pilot holes and screw right through the top to reinforce that. So I'll do that on both sides, and then we'll move on from there. So I screwed on this first exterior piece, and so now I can explain to you what I was babbling about before. So once you've got one side of your pieces on, we're going to call this the width from now on. Now that we're working on the length, you can see you have to take into account that this is going to be extra space that you have to account for. So don't cut your pieces to this size without adding, you know, whatever, maybe a 1/2 inch on each side for this other piece. Otherwise, your wood will stop right here and you'll have these big gaping empty corners. So now I'm going to attach these pieces to make it the height and the width, and we'll have our little box top all done, and then we just have to attach the legs. So with the width and the length pieces in, we now have our box all made up for the top. So all we have to do are these legs. Now it's crucial that they are the same size so that you don't have a wobbly table. If you need to, you can always kind of sand it down a little bit here and there to make up for any little wobbles, but the closest you can start to exactly the same size, the easier it will be on you in the long run. So I'm just going to stick one of these in each corner of this box, just like that, and put 1 screw from the top and 1 screw from the side, and you're just going to want to make sure that you stagger those because you don't want those to bump into each other. That will cause your drill to kick back, and that can hurt. So just make sure that your screw on the side is on the low end and your screw through the top is on the high end, and you'll be just fine. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides, and this thing will be done. Whew. Okay, so that's it, it's done. Now, The pallets that I was using were pretty rough, and so I'm just leaning right into that rustic look, and I'm not stressing about it at all. If you want this table to look a little more refined, well, first of all, start with actual lumber instead of just reclaimed pallets. But as I said, you could put more pieces here, and you could even put cross pieces against one end of the legs if you were really concerned about stability. This is just going to sit right next to my outdoor couch, and the only thing it's going to hold up is maybe a plant and a glass of lemonade. So like I said, I'm not stressed. I think I am going to give this a quick little sand and then maybe a spray paint. We'll see how ambitious I am by the end of the day, but this might get a little shot of color before I'm all done. I couldn't resist. I had to make it blue. I had to go with that bright aqua kind of a color, and I think it made all the difference. Rustic is one thing, ratty is another, and because I was going with the palette that had been out in the elements for so long, it was a little on the ratty side. If you go with a palette that isn't so mistreated, you can leave it naked and just enjoy the natural wood color, but mine really needed a little shot of something. I gave it a very light coat of spray paint, so in some spots you can still see the wood peeking through, which I kind of love. It just feels so summer and casual and beachy to me. I just love it. So before too long we'll have plants and lemonade on this, but there's no rest for the weary. I have one more project to do before this day is out, and so don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can see what else I can do in one day with 5 pallets, and I think you're gonna love it. So thanks for watching. Don't be afraid to try anything. With power tools, you can totally do this. Don't let it intimidate you. You can have a table for absolutely free, just like I did. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.